Hello, and a very warm welcome to Adventure Awaits. It is a genuine pleasure to have you with us for another episode of Forever Green. I do hope you will stay with us for our entire journey today, and if you find our exploration compelling, perhaps you might consider subscribing to the channel and sharing our discoveries with others. It helps us continue to bring these stories of our world to you. Our planet, this remarkable sphere of rock and water, still holds so many secrets. Even for the most seasoned travelers, there remain corners of the earth that seem to defy explanation, places that feel as if they have been lifted from the pages of myth and legend. These are locations of such profound and enchanting beauty that they can overwhelm the senses, rendering mere words and pictures almost inadequate. But today, we shall endeavor to do them justice. We are about to embark on a journey to 12 such places, locations so magical, so surreal, that you may find it difficult to believe they are real. These are the corners of our world where nature's artistry is on its most magnificent display. So, prepare to be astonished. And I must say, if you are searching for a place so beautiful it seems entirely unreal, do be sure to stick around for our final destination at number 1. I have a feeling it will simply blow you away. Our journey begins on the wild western coast of Ireland, where the land comes to an abrupt and dramatic end. Here, the cliffs of Moher stand as colossal sentinels, facing the relentless power of the Atlantic Ocean. For over 8 kilometers, these sheer rock faces rise from the churning waves, reaching heights of more than 200 meters. To stand at their edge is to feel a profound sense of nature's raw, untamed power, a humbling experience as the sea winds whip around you and the roar of the surf echoes from below. The air here is alive, not just with the sound of the ocean, but with the calls of a remarkable array of seabirds. Puffins, with their brightly colored beaks, find sanctuary in the cliff-face burrows, alongside razorbills and guillemots. They launch themselves into the wind, soaring on the updrafts created by the immense cliffs, masters of this vertical world. It is a bustling, thriving metropolis of avian life, a testament to the resilience of creatures who make their home in one of the most exposed environments imaginable. It is little wonder that this place has captured the human imagination for centuries. These are the very cliffs that appeared in the classic film, The Princess Bride, as the Cliffs of Insanity. And the name feels fitting. There is a certain madness to their scale, a beautiful, terrifying grandeur that speaks of deep time and geological forces far beyond our comprehension. It is a place where myth and reality feel impossibly, wonderfully intertwined. From the rugged coast of Ireland, we travel to the high-altitude plains of Bolivia, to a landscape that seems to belong to another planet entirely. This is Salar de Uyuni, the world's largest salt flat. It is a vast, blindingly white expanse, stretching for over 10,000 square kilometers. What we see today is the remnant of a prehistoric lake, which evaporated millennia ago, leaving behind this incredible crust of salt, in some places, meters thick. Under the harsh Andean sun, the ground cracks into a mesmerizing mosaic of hexagonal patterns, creating a geometric purity that is almost hypnotic. There is a profound silence here, a stillness that is broken only by the crunch of salt beneath your feet and the whisper of the wind. It is a landscape stripped to its bare essentials: salt, sky, and light. In the dry season, it is a desert of dazzling white, a place of stark and minimalist beauty that challenges one's perception of what a landscape can be. But it is during the rainy season that the Salar performs its most astonishing miracle. A thin layer of water covers the salt, transforming the entire plain into the world's largest natural mirror. The boundary between earth and sky dissolves completely. The heavens are reflected with perfect crystalline clarity, and to walk upon it is to feel as though you are walking amongst the clouds. It is an experience of pure, surreal wonder, a moment where you feel suspended between two skies in an infinite ethereal space. Our next destination takes us to the coast of West Africa, to Senegal, where we find a body of water that defies all expectations. This is Lake Retba, known to the world as the Pink Lake, and it is, quite literally, pink. The color can range from a subtle mauve to a vivid, almost surreal strawberry milkshake hue. It's a sight so unusual, so startling, that it feels as though one has stepped into a dreamscape painted by an artist with a particularly fanciful palette. The extraordinary color is not the result of pollution or some strange mineral deposit. It is, in fact, the work of life. The lake is incredibly saline, with a salt content that in some areas rivals that of the Dead Sea. In this extreme environment, a particular species of bacteria, Dunaliella salina, thrives. To protect itself from the intense salinity and sunlight, this microscopic organism produces a red pigment, which absorbs and uses the energy of sunlight, staining the water in the process. The intensity of the pink hue depends on the season. It is at its most vibrant during the dry season, from November to June, when the sun is strong and the salt concentration is at its highest. This is when the lake is at its most photogenic, a truly mythical spectacle. You can see local salt collectors wading into the pink waters, their skin protected by shea butter, harvesting the very mineral that gives the lake its unique character, a striking image of human life adapting to this most unusual of environments. We now journey deep into a canyon in southern Colombia, near the border with Ecuador, to witness a structure that seems to defy both gravity and logic. This is the Las Lajas Sanctuary, a basilica church of breathtaking beauty, built inside the canyon of the Guaitara River. It is a feat of engineering and faith, a Gothic revival masterpiece that spans the gorge, its spires reaching towards the sky as if in prayer, anchored to the very rock from which its story began. The origins of this sanctuary are steeped in miracle and mystery. The story, dating back to 1754, tells of a woman and her deaf-mute daughter who were caught in a fierce storm. Seeking shelter in the canyon, the daughter suddenly spoke for the first time, pointing to an image of the Virgin Mary that had miraculously appeared on the rock face of the canyon wall. This event, and subsequent miracles reported at the site, inspired the construction of a shrine, which over centuries evolved into the magnificent basilica we see today. To visit Las Lajas is to experience a sense of otherworldly magic. Approaching the church from across the bridge, with the river rushing far below and the stone walls of the canyon rising on all sides, is an unforgettable sight. The church itself seems not to be built upon the land, but to have grown out of it, an organic part of this sacred landscape. It is a testament to the power of belief to create something truly sublime, a place where the spiritual and the natural worlds are fused in perfect harmony. Our travels now take us high into the Peruvian Andes, to a place that looks as if a giant has spilled pots of paint across the landscape. These are the Vinicunca, or Rainbow Mountains. For centuries they were hidden from view, covered by snow and ice. But as the climate has changed and the glaciers have retreated, this geological masterpiece has been revealed to the world in all its multicolored glory. It is a sight that is almost too vibrant, too perfect, to be real. The spectacular stripes of turquoise, lavender, gold, and maroon are not man-made. They are the result of millions of years of geological activity. Different mineral deposits, iron oxide for the reds, goethite for the yellows, chlorite for the greens, were laid down in sedimentary layers over aeons. Tectonic plate movements then tilted and uplifted these layers, and subsequent erosion by wind and water has carved them into the rolling striated hills we see today. It is Earth's own canvas, a story of deep time written in color. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Rainbow Mountains have become a pilgrimage for hikers and photographers from across the globe. The trek to reach them is challenging, leading to altitudes of over 5,000 meters, but the reward is a vista of unparalleled beauty. To stand there, surrounded by these candy-striped peaks under the immense Andean sky, is to witness one of the planet's most flamboyant and joyful natural wonders, a true celebration of geological artistry. We journey now to the heart of the Canadian Rockies, to Banff National Park in Alberta. Here, nestled in the Valley of the Ten Peaks, lies a body of water of such intense and luminous color it seems to be lit from within. This is Moraine Lake. The water is a vivid, almost impossible shade of turquoise, a color so striking it has to be seen to be believed. It is a jewel of a lake, cradled by a spectacular amphitheater of jagged, snow-dusted mountains. The lake's extraordinary color is not due to any dye or pollutant, but to the geology of the surrounding mountains. As glaciers grind their way down the slopes of the 10 peaks, they pulverize the rock into a fine powder, known as rock flour. This fine silt is carried into the lake by meltwater streams. The particles remain suspended in the water, and when sunlight hits them, they refract the light, absorbing most colors of the spectrum but reflecting the brilliant blues and greens, creating this iconic turquoise glow. The best time to witness this spectacle is from late June to August. This is when the glaciers are melting at their peak, depositing the maximum amount of rock flour into the lake, making the color at its most intense. To sit by its shore, or to paddle a canoe across its still glacial surface, is to be immersed in a landscape of truly mythic proportions. It is a place that perfectly captures the sublime, wild beauty of the Canadian wilderness, a scene so perfect it feels like a painting come to life. From the icy waters of Canada, our journey takes an abrupt turn, leading us into the driest desert in the world, the Atacama Desert in southern Peru. Here, amidst an endless sea of towering sand dunes, lies an image straight from a storybook, a true desert oasis. This is Huacachina, a small, serene lagoon, fringed with palm trees and a handful of rustic buildings, appears like a mirage, a splash of impossible green and blue in a world of monolithic gold. The lagoon, according to local legend, was created when a beautiful native princess was discovered bathing by a young hunter. Startled, she fled, leaving behind her the pool of water she had been in. The folds of her mantle, streaming behind her as she ran, are said to have become the surrounding sand dunes. While the scientific explanation points to a natural spring, the legend adds a layer of enchantment to this already magical place. The lagoon's waters are believed to have curative properties, drawing visitors for centuries. Huacachina is not just a place of tranquil beauty, it is also a hub for adventure. The colossal dunes that cradle the oasis are a natural playground. The most popular activities are sandboarding, essentially snowboarding down the steep, sandy slopes, and thrilling dune buggy rides that race over the crests and valleys of the desert landscape. As the sun sets, casting long shadows and turning the sand to a deep orange, the view from the top of a dune, looking down on the twinkling lights of the oasis, is an experience of pure, unadulterated magic. We now venture into the remote and frozen wilderness of Siberia, to the shores of a lake of superlatives. This is Lake Baikal. It is the world's largest freshwater lake by volume, containing roughly 20% of the planet's unfrozen surface fresh water. It is also the world's deepest lake, and at an age of around 25 million years, it is considered the oldest lake on Earth. The local Buryat people call it the Sacred Sea, and standing on its shore, it is easy to understand why. Baikal is a world unto itself, a living laboratory of evolution. Its ancient age and isolation have resulted in one of the richest and most unusual freshwater ecosystems on the planet. Over 80% of the animal species found here are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else on Earth. This includes the Baikal seal, or Nerpa, the world's only exclusively freshwater seal, a mysterious and charming inhabitant of these icy waters. In winter, the lake undergoes a breathtaking transformation. The surface freezes into a meter-thick sheet of ice so clear you can see for dozens of meters into the dark depths below. Stresses in the ice cause it to crack and shift, pushing up huge, jagged shards of turquoise ice that glitter in the low winter sun like giant crystals. It is a landscape of stark, crystalline beauty, both formidable and fragile. To witness the frozen expanse of Baikal is to feel the immense, ancient power of nature in one of its most primeval and spectacular forms. Our next destination takes us deep beneath the surface of the Chihuahuan Desert in Mexico, into a place that seems like a fantasy realm. This is the Cueva de los Cristales, the Cave of Crystals, located within the Nika mine. It is a chamber of geological wonders, a subterranean cavern filled with the largest natural crystals ever discovered on Earth. Giant beams of selenite, a translucent gypsum crystal, crisscross the cave, some reaching over 11 meters in length and weighing over 50 tons. This otherworldly grotto was discovered by accident in the year 2000 by miners drilling for lead and silver. It lies 300 meters below the surface, in a limestone cavern flooded for millennia with mineral-rich groundwater. This water was kept at a stable temperature of around 58 degrees Celsius, the perfect stable conditions for these crystals to grow, undisturbed, to their colossal size over hundreds of thousands of years. It is a natural cathedral, a silent, glittering monument to the slow, patient power of geology. Visiting this incredible place is, however, extremely difficult and dangerous. The air temperature in the cave hovers at a sweltering 58 degrees Celsius, with near 100% humidity, conditions in which a human can survive for only about 10 minutes without specialized cooling suits. Access is strictly controlled, reserved for scientific research. Though we may not be able to walk among these crystal giants ourselves, knowing they exist deep within our planet adds a profound sense of mystery and wonder to the world beneath our feet. From the intense heat of a Mexican cave, we travel to the serene and tranquil outskirts of Kyoto, Japan. Here, we find the Arashiyama bamboo grove. To step into this forest is to be transported to another world. A paved path winds its way through a dense, towering forest of moso bamboo. The stalks, thick as a person's arm, soar tens of meters into the sky, their green tops forming a dense canopy that filters the sunlight, dappling the path below in an ethereal shifting light. There is a unique sensory experience here that is difficult to describe. It's not just the visual spectacle of the endless green stalks, but the sound. When the wind blows, the tall bamboo stalks sway and knock gently against one another, creating a distinctive, percussive rustling. The leaves whisper, and the wood creaks. It is a sound so famous in Japan that the Ministry of the Environment has designated it as one of the 100 soundscapes of Japan, encouraging people to stop and simply listen to the music of the forest. This bamboo is not just for show. It has been a vital part of the local culture for centuries. The high-quality wood is harvested to create a variety of local crafts, from baskets and cups to mats and building materials. The forest itself is a place of peace and contemplation, a natural temple that invites quiet reflection. Walking through the Arashiyama bamboo grove is a meditative experience, a chance to feel small and humbled by the simple, elegant, and overwhelming power of nature. We now travel to the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe in southern Africa to witness one of the most powerful and awe-inspiring sights on the entire continent. This is Victoria Falls, known locally as Mosi Oa-Tunya, which translates with beautiful accuracy to the smoke that thunders. Long before you see the falls, you can hear their roar and see their spray, which rises like a plume of smoke hundreds of meters into the air, visible from kilometers away. This is the largest curtain of falling water in the world. The mighty Zambezi River, over 1.5 kilometers wide at this point, plunges over 100 meters into a narrow chasm. The sheer volume of water is staggering. During the peak flood season, over 500 million cubic meters of water plummet over the edge every single minute. The force is immense, creating a constant, drenching mist that sustains a small rainforest on the cliff opposite the falls, a unique ecosystem that exists only because of this spray. To stand before Victoria Falls is to be truly humbled by the raw power of the natural world. The ground trembles beneath your feet, and the roar is deafening, a visceral, all-encompassing experience. Rainbows form and dance in the perpetual mist, adding a touch of delicate beauty to the overwhelming force. It is a place that engages every sense, a truly magnificent spectacle that reminds us of the planet's incredible dynamism and its ability to create features of such monumental scale and breathtaking beauty. For our final destination, we arrive in the world's first national park, Yellowstone, in the United States. And here, in the Midway Geyser Basin, is the park's most photographed and arguably its most surreal thermal feature. This is the Grand Prismatic Spring. It is the largest hot spring in the United States, wider than a football field and deeper than a 10-story building. But it's the colors that make it truly mythical. From the air, the spring is a jaw-dropping spectacle. The center of the pool is a deep, piercing blue, where the water is at its hottest and therefore too sterile for most life. As the water spreads out and cools towards the edges, a vibrant spectrum of colors appears. Bands of green, yellow, orange, and red encircle the blue center, creating an effect that looks like a giant, liquid rainbow, or the iris of some colossal subterranean eye gazing up at the sky. These brilliant colors are not minerals, but living things. They are created by vast colonies of different heat-loving bacteria, known as thermophiles. Each species of bacteria thrives at a different temperature, creating these distinct color bands. The green bacteria live in slightly cooler water than the blue center, the yellows in cooler water still, and the oranges and reds at the coolest edges of the spring. It is a living, breathing ecosystem, a masterpiece of microbiology painted on a geological scale. It is a final, stunning reminder that our world is filled with wonders that can surpass even our wildest imagination. And so our journey concludes. From the thundering smoke of Victoria Falls to the silent, crystalline world of Naka, we have explored 12 of the most mythical and unbelievable places our world has to offer. These are the locations that blur the line between reality and fantasy, reminding us that there is still so much magic and mystery left to discover on our own planet. Each one is a testament to the extraordinary forces and the breathtaking artistry of nature. I find myself wondering which of these incredible destinations captured your imagination the most. Was it the impossible mirror of Salar de Uyuni, or the quiet majesty of the Arashiyama bamboo grove? Each location has its own unique power to astonish. I would be genuinely delighted to hear your thoughts, so please do be sure to let us know which place dropped your jaw the most in the comments section below. Sharing these experiences is, after all, part of the joy of discovery. If you enjoyed this exploration of our planet's wonders, and I sincerely hope you did, you might also appreciate our video on the 10 most wonderful places in the world. It is another journey to some truly remarkable corners of the Earth. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Until next time, keep exploring, and never lose your sense of wonder.